and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Challenger Under Construction. Sorry, I think I might have pulled something before the stream started, and I got pain in my joints, but I'll be fine. I'll manage. I hope you're all doing well. And I hope you're ready for more work on Metal Sonic. How am I? I'm okay. I haven't exactly slept the greatest in the last, couple weeks. But I'm managing. No, nothing will prevent me from typing or working or whatever. Because today we actually are going to be getting into SFM and actually working on moves. It's more sleep apnea bros than anything else, but insomnia is probably also a contributing factor if I were to take a wild guess. Alright. Just pull this up so we can get back to where we were 2 weeks ago. Alright. Last session, we mainly got down a lot of the basics of what we wanted Metal Sonic to be. We laid out what his playstyle is, his weight, any extra abilities, his character mechanic, listed his noble weapons, strengths and weaknesses, gave him an ease of use. We detailed his specials, we did his normals, smash attacks. All that's left to do is come up with the aerials, the grabs, and the throws, and then pretty much just this stuff, which is, as I said, inconsequential at most. But to go along with a new session, I should mention that I've already started working on poses. I did the introductory poses that help me get used to the model that you usually see in the character introduction settings. So it's just a group of poses. Most of them are based off of official Metal Sonic artwork. Did the pose for the black shield, and a pose for him while he's floating. So yeah, there's already been a decent amount of work done. Alright. I may have missed a little bit last time. Does he have the black shield as an input? It is his actual shield. It's just there in the place of his regular shield. Of course I have to give him the OVA pose. It's one of Metal Sonic's most iconic appearances in any media ever. Not just a visual change, but it also basically acts like more of Yoshi's shield than a regular shield, in that you basically can't be shield poked through it. Also, I've also started writing the script for the video, and I'm about as far as I can be when it comes to detailing attacks that we've already come up with and covered, which is good. A lot of work on Metal Sonic has surprisingly already gotten done, which is a good thing, considering I'm nearing on 2.5 months since my last video. I'm hoping it doesn't hit 2.5 months. I really don't. Okay, as I said, we got as far as the aerials, so that's where we're gonna be starting. I think right off the bat we gotta start with an iconic attack. We gotta give him the Ring Spark Field as a neutral air. Metal Sonic will release an outward pulse of electrical energy, dealing rapid damage to all foes caught in its area of effect, and launching them once the move concludes. This is based on one of his more iconic attacks from his boss fights in Sonic CD and Sonic Mania. It's Demoman's going fine. It's just Demoman's possibly going to be the longest video I've ever made. It's looking like he's going to pass an hour. Potentially even past Rauru. Similar in execution to Mewtwo and Pikachu's Nair. Yes, it's like Mewtwo's, essentially. I was just gonna give him a spin dash, but I think the Ring Spark Field is a little bit too iconic to just pass up. Yeah, it might. It might. I'm not entirely through the audio yet, so we're getting there. He's not overly complex. There's just a lot to him as a character. Alright, for forward air. Alright, here we're gonna have a bit of a departure from the usual that you'd expect from a character like Sonic. I forget what I gave. I gave Shao like an arcing punch. It's probably gonna be closer to Shao than Sonic. We're gonna call this. What the fuck are we gonna call this? I know what I want to make the move, but I don't. I'm trying to think of a name for it. No. Well, you know what? I'm at least going to describe what the move is before we come up with a name for it. Metal Sonic will attack in front of himself with a double hand claw slash, covering a solid range in front of himself and launching foes with some decent force to match. can be used as a combo ender or kill confirmed depending on your foe's percent value. It's like Wolf's 4 tilted in the air. It's more like John Talbain's jumping heavy from Darkstalkers, but yes, essentially. Or I call it Shredder Swipe. If you want an idea of what I'm looking for here, I just realized I was muted. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is called Shredder Swipe. Double hand claw slash, something that fits with the design of what I just showed for John Talbain from Darkstalkers. No, we're not having his body parts turn to things. That just takes away from Metal Sonic as a character and really just muddies the design. Now, how are we going to handle the up airs? That's the up air. That's the real question here. I thought of a decent amount of moves already ahead of time going into the stream. How did I mute myself? Oh, my microphone has a little button that I can just tap on the bottom like that, and you hear nothing, but I can just immediately mute myself. Well, I think that's more in relation to him being able to copy data, but we already have a system put in place for that, and we don't need to worry about that for any of his actual physical attacks. You know what? We're gonna come back to the up air. We're just gonna quickly do the back air. Probably one of the easiest moves to come up with from El Sonic, considering he has the perfect weapon for it. We're gonna call it Jet Cannon. El Sonic will release a blast of flaming exhaust from Turbine on his back, dealing quick yet explosive damage to any foe. It's unlucky enough to be too close when the blast goes off. Sports high kill power and is one of Metal Sonic's primary normal kill options outside of his smash attacks. This attack will briefly push Metal Sonic forward due to the ignition of his turbine. Perfect. Easy. Super easy. Yeah, it's like Rob's. It's like a in-between of Rob and Corrin. And for his down air, how do I want to handle the down air? Because there's a lot of ways you could take this down air and actually have it fit Metal Sonic as a character. Don't even bother mentioning Sonic's down there. I'm not giving it to him. It doesn't make any sense. No, I know exactly what we're gonna do here. We're gonna call it Metal Hunter. Metal Sonic will rocket himself downward at a quick and a blinding pace using his turbine, his full body acting like that of a battering ram as he drags any foe unlucky enough be hit by this attack down with him. This is designed to drag foes back down towards the floor and continue combos. With the initial blast, the tackle, acting like that of a spike, it sports moderate spike potency. I'm trying to think of what I would compare it to. It's a little difficult to explain. Weirdly enough, the first thing that comes to my mind when I can think of a comparison is, it's a move that Ultron uses in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's his command grab that, if used in the air, essentially works like that as a physical hit that knocks people back down towards the ground. It's usually used in combos in Marvel Infinite, and I think something like that fits a character like Metal pretty well considering what he is. Alright, let's go back to the up air. You know what, Pikmin? Something like that might actually work really well. We're called Steel Drill. L Sonic will rapidly spin his lower half as he kicks upwards into the air, dealing quick, rapid damage before launching the foe. End of the attack with an arcing kick. As Metal Sonic's lower half spins, his upper half will stay in place and stabilize his momentum. This can be used as a juggling option. A drag down option, and at very high percents. Enough, the top kill option. Perfect. Sam, it's more than Samus's up air. Also, don't you people know the comparison is the thief of joy? Come on now. Anyways, for his grab, Metal Sonic will grab his foe, reaching forward and grabbing with a single arm as his grip intense as he holds his foe slightly off the floor, with his claws ready to deal damage at a moment's notice. Pummel Metal Sonic will dig the tip of his free hand's claws into his foe. His wrist rotating and dealing quick yet painful damage. I would like to just say I don't know what the Neo Metal Chokehold is, but if it's Death Battle related, it's not happening here. For taller characters, maybe he could float above the ground while grabbing the opponent. Nah, he'll just probably just hold them higher. Sort of how I designed Shadow's grab to work. Oh, even worse, I'm not even touching the IDW comics. Those comics did Metal so fucking dirty. except for like the first opening issues. Yeah, coming up with throws is going to be a little bit difficult. Actually, wait, no. Let's get one out of the way. Probably the easiest one. We're gonna give him the airplane drop. Now Sonic will fly upwards with his foe. Toe before flying down and slamming them into the floor. Metal Sonic's airplane drop in Sonic the Fighters is absolutely fucking insane. With how powerful it is. He uses a combo throw at lower percents. And even a kill throw at notably higher percent values. Perfect. No, I got one. Isn't the same name I get. Okay, no, this one's called Flare Cannon. It's slightly different. We use Flare instead of Jet. Male Sonic will rotate his body and limbs as the foe stays stuck in place. The exhaust port of his turbine turning around to face his front and blast the foe away with a close range burst of fire. Once the foe is launched away, Metal Sonic will rearrange himself and return to his normal state. A simple yet powerful throw that plays on Metal's inhuman characteristics. Alright, for his back throw. We're gonna call it Interstellar Toss. Grab on to his foe tightly before rapidly spinning his upper half, building up momentum before he jumps up into the air and violently slams the foe into the ground using said built up momentum. Any extra foes unlucky enough to be too close to Metal Sonic will be knocked back by the violent spinning, and can also be hit by the tossed foe. And for his down throw, I'm trying to remember if Metal Sonic even had the spin dash throw in Sonic the Fighters. I don't think he did. I think his main thing was the airplane drop. I don't think Metal Sonic could do the spin dash at all. Let me think how do I want to handle this? I don't want to just give him Sonic's down throw. That seems a little just too on the nose. No, if I gave him a drag throw, it would have been his forward or his back throw. A down throw that pushes you forward makes no sense. It should be a throw that actually correlates to the direction that you're holding the control stick in. No, I have a better idea. We're gonna call it Metal Stomp. Metal Sonic will forcefully push his foe into the floor. We're stomping down on top of them with his foot, causing them to bounce off the floor up into the air. This serves as a reference to a common tactic in Sonic the Fighters. Characters could perform on opponents they had just thrown, allowing them to deal extra damage, which correlates combo routes and strings here in Smash. I like that. Alright, perfect. And I think that's all of his moves. Yep, that is everything. A little over half an hour into the stream, and the moveset itself is done. They don't want to bother with the character extras again. They're so inconsequential. Yeah, you know what? Why not? We'll give him his victory theme. We'll give him the Sonic CD level complete theme for his victory theme, because that is the game that he comes from. At least give him his colors, you know, number 1. His standard metal. Yeah, we have a Final Smash. It's just Metal Overlord. Easy. Simple. Nothing really that needs explanation. We'll give him one for Robosonic, which is gray/red. Mechasonic, which is indigo. I'll actually give him one for Silver Sonic, which is silver/yellow. Now Sonic 3.0, which is black and yellow. I feel like there's more and I'm just missing it. Before somebody mentions Neo Metal is not a costume, will never be a costume, for obvious reasons. Nope, we're not giving him an alt. This is Metal Sonic. We're not Koopaling. We're not turning this character into Metal Sonic and the Koopalings. But if we're not going to give him a Neo Metal costume, we can at least give him a Neo Metal color scheme. It's navy blue, white, and black. You know what? We'll give him an Eggman color scheme. We'll give him, you know, red, yellow, orange. Perfect. It's almost entirely based on other types of robot Sonic and his creator. I almost made a color reference to other robots, but it's like, not really necessary. Also just gonna put this here for later. He has to have a finger weight taunt. Which is something that I don't think I've seen anybody give him, surprisingly enough. It's one of his most iconic poses, and nobody gives it to him. Well, we're not worrying about Eggman's colors. This isn't a moveset for Eggman, this is for Metal Sonic himself. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I want to add to this before I go on and start actually working on moves. Like from this point on, it will just be mainly an SFM stream. Now, the victory animations and stuff like that, that can wait. Let's actually do some actual work. All right. Okay, first off, we're gonna have to start with the jab combo. We're gonna, yep, right. That, nope, don't need to have that. Yeah, we're gonna start with metallic slash sequence. All right. Come on, wake up, source filmmaker. Perfect. Yeah, now that we're past like the design process and we're just like actually making moves, I have no problem with more general questions now. We're past the time where we need to focus. And now this is just the point where I need to focus. We'll start with the opening slash of the combo. Do I have any strong opinions on how Aegis was implemented in Smash? I think they were implemented just fine. I have no real qualms about how they were designed whatsoever. I kind of am curious about how Sakurai would have worked Rex into the moveset if it was possible on the hardware. And part of me is like, oh, what would, maybe with the Switch 2 they could actually make that moveset happen. Where instead of it just being Pyre and Mythra, it's Pyre and Mythra attached to Rex. But yeah, I have no problem with it. well, making Rex work in tandem with Pyra and Mithra on the Switch was apparently, like, very difficult, and that's one of the reasons why it's just Pyra and Mithra. I know nothing about Fossil Fighters, so I am not the person to ask for that. What would you say are important aspects to include in a stealth-focused character? Been dealing a stealth horror rep and been struggling to implement a stealthy playstyle. I feel like a stealthy character would need a lot of conditioning. Like a moveset that's designed to, like, force them, well, not essentially force them, but condition them to, like, play and react a certain way. And if you punish accordingly with said conditioning, you get bigger rewards. Like, I always thought that, Snake should be heavily based on, like, tech chasing and conditioning. I am not muted, no. During a lot of these SFM sections, I'm probably going to be quiet while I'm working unless people ask me questions, because it's important so that the moveset is done properly. We're getting there. Add a bit of, we are going to add a bit of size change to the arm in order to add a bit of emphasis to make the attack a little bit easier to read. Very common tactic in Smash Brothers when designing. If you look at moves, they make these moves essentially make the limbs blow up to make them more readable. It's a very common thing seen in most characters in Smash, especially characters that don't use a sword. Out of all the feasible combinations of archetypes and traits a platform fighting game character could have in a game like Smash/Aether, what would be your absolute dream fighter character design to play as and why? That's a difficult question, because there's a lot to it. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know if I entirely have an answer. If only because of the fact that I've had instances where I finally get like a character design that I'm looking for, or a move or a playstyle that I'm looking for, and it's just not as fun as I thought it would have been. Twist the body a little bit more. Especially also when you add Rivals of Aether to the mix. Like, I'm not on great terms with that game right now for multiple reasons, but, there's so much more that Rivals of Aether allows a character to do compared to Smash, that if we add Aether to the mix, it's notably more difficult to come up with an answer. Handle a little bit more. Alright, perfect. There's the first hit of our combo. Now it'll take a few minutes to render and export. But yeah, Crimson, if I were to give like a definitive answer right now, I'd probably say I want a character with a drive system like there is in BlazBlue. Which is essentially just saying, add a BlazBlue character. It doesn't even need to be one of the characters with like a nobly difficult drive system to use. It could just be a character like Ragna. Is there any character you've wanted to see in Smash but that you've changed your mind on, not including them actually being added? Maybe just losing interest in them as a character or something? Not really. I've only really lost interest in characters when they actually get included into the game as actual characters. It really was, like, for example, like, one of my most wanted characters for a while was Ridley. And Ridley gets into the game and it's like, yay, Ridley's here. Okay, next. The lead up to getting the character you want and actually enjoying them for long periods of time, it almost never equals out for me. I'll be super excited in the moment to see the character, but then, like, whether they're there and you can just play them at any time, it's just like, yeah, that's neat. I'm glad they're here. Okay, let's talk about the new stuff that could potentially get in. I mean, it's possible, but it hasn't just been Ridley that I've had that feeling for. Thoughts on the potential of Cacturn as a fighting game character? I have no strong feelings one way or the other. Because it's Cacturn. Alright, perfect. Let's move on to pose number 2. Honestly, Kitchen, if you're already decent at Blender, don't bother using SFM. If you can already use Blender well, learning how to use SFM just isn't fucking worth it. I use SFM because I'm a stubborn bitch. We're gonna have him do like a big arcing upward slash for the second hit. But yeah, my answer, just keep learning how to use Blender. You'll be happier for it. SFM is very archaic. Given how well Incineroar was implemented in Ultimate, moveset and personality-wise, do you think Hawlucha has the potential to eclipse Incineroar in the off chance Hawlucha does get into Smash? Given the fact that luchadors usually have like very big personalities and are very, you know, persona-driven compared to even the likes of just regular professional wrestling, I'd say probably. Even if I wouldn't exactly hold my hopes up for Hawlucha ever happening. Also, it's not that Ridley's not well designed, he's just mediocre. That's the thing. They could have taken him a lot further than they did, and as a result, he just feels underwhelming. My thoughts on ZSS? I think that ZSS is holding back actual Samus. Why? Who is my most wanted Legend of Zelda newcomer? I see people saying Gandorf, and that's not really fair. Let's make this a little bit bigger to emphasize the attack. Spine back slightly. That's too much. But yeah, to answer the question, I'd say Rauru. Or his sister. Either or. I am not talking about character concept stuff. That is one thing I'm not going to delve it too much into, darling. I'm sure you'll be able to speculate about it in A bit of... We're gonna do a little bit of cheating here. We're gonna add like a little bit of size to this foot. Just to make it look a little bit closer to the camera. But yeah, I'm sure I'll hear all about it from your posts in general, speculating about it. Do I think they'll keep Echo Fighters after Ultimate? God, I hope not. Like many a thing that the Smash series has come up with, I think that it's okay to call Echo Fighters a failure and not continue with them. Or, you know, I wish that's what they would do more often with the Smash series. But, my answer is, I'm not sure. I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get it. Except maybe just a slight twist. No, he's an Echo Fighter. He's built off of Ryu's moveset and he does something completely different. He is exactly what an Echo Fighter should be. Which is really sad when you consider the fact that he's the only one that really understands what an Echo Fighter is supposed to be. Yeah, there we go. That's about as good as I'm gonna get it. Oh, Pikmin, I don't know if you're ever gonna see another Pokken, considering Harada's not in Namco anymore. I think that ship has thoroughly sailed. Honestly, Kitchen, I feel that so much. Except less working on my own game and more just like so much of my time in like the last couple of weeks has been focused on putting stuff together for a D&D campaign. Like world building, character designing, designing a one-shot that leads into the full campaign itself. So much work has gone into this. God, I cannot fucking wait for Neon Odyssey to become available. God damn, the wait's gonna suck ass. Neon Odyssey is an expansion that Legends of Adventurous is putting together for D&D 5e. That is essentially a space opera themed expansion for D&D that adds all sorts of stuff for space combat, racing, adds a bunch of different, like 30-something races, 40-something plus subclasses. They're completely reflavoring all the available classes. Oh, it's just like I'm so ready for this because there's two settings that I adore more than anything else. I love gothic horror, and I love the space opera / science fiction-esque stuff that you'd see in stuff like Outlaw Star and Cowboy Bebop. Those two settings right there, like Bloodborne and Cowboy Bebop, are my two favorite settings in any media ever. Alright, now we gotta give him the big kick. Okay, how do I want to make this look? Oh yeah, of course there's gonna be a big shoe. twist. We're going to actually add a bit of a bend backwards to show how quick that foot's moving. We're gonna go back to this frame and add a keyframe for the calves as well. I'm gonna tilt him a little bit this way. His leg sticks out a little bit further. Cheat a little bit and actually just make it extend like this. We're getting there. Well, we can do a little bit of cheating with the camera here. We're gonna move like his torso slightly off center. Yeah, if you want to learn how to do this kind of stuff, learning how to cheat with the camera is very effective. It will save you a lot of time. And we're gonna do a little bit of cheating there too. Make the model work for you. Don't work for the model. Yeah, it's slightly off center, but you can't tell from this angle. I want the foot tilted down to try and make it appear that he's floating in midair. She's supposed to be. I'm gonna tilt this arm to clawing closer. It looks bare that way. Alright, how's that look? I'm gonna need to fix that so that that's not sticking through the fucking torso. Perfect. Nope. The closest I can get it. Alright, perfect. The anti-gravity roundhouse kick. I mean, it's the ring spark field. I would imagine he does. Don't worry, we'll get there. Oh boy, Doom the Dark Ages is on sale. Like, I have the fucking money for that right now. Yeah, I'm trying to preserve my money for D&D shit right now. I want the Ravenloft book that comes out in June. I want to get the PDF of Hiliana and Ryoko's Guide to Mythozoology. I want to get Neon Odyssey when that becomes available as well. Thank God there hasn't been any games that have caught my eye this year. Oh, that's simple. Samus in the more modern Metroid games is a really fast, acrobatic character, and because of the fact that Zero Suit Samus as a character already exists in Smash, Samus isn't allowed to fully become the character that she's evolved into over the years as a result of said playstyle already being reserved for a secondary version of her. Alright. It's done. Next up is the forward tilt. Yeah, if you have game recommendations, I'll take them. I don't promise I'll play them, but I'll take them. How do these look? Checking how the renders came out. Yeah, I'd say that all looks good. Might add some glow to the eyes on that third hit. Alright, perfect. Let's just say, Pikmin, that I'm always a fan of characters being able to do more. Alright. get $40 lying around, which I don't. Reanimal from Tarsier is my game of the year 100%. Well, I'm getting there. Yeah, it can be angled. Now, question is, do I want Metal Sonic's head to be looking forward, or do I want it to be like, oh god, nope, don't look that way. Like looking off to the side like this. That arm a little bit more forward. Now I think I want his head looking forward. Up the shoulder a little bit. Yeah, I can move Metal Sonic's eyes. Let's make the arm big. And move the fingers a little closer together. I want to make it like a point. Hey, that looks a lot better. I don't remember exactly where this Metal Sonic's model is from, but I'm pretty sure it's from one of the 3D Sonic games. Alright, take care, Ethan. I'm gonna do a bit cheating with the model to make the pose look a little better. Bring the spine all the way down forward like this. While the gyroscope tennis ball stays where I wanted it to. That's a lot better. That's pretty much his Slash Claw from Sonic the Fighters. Add a bit more bend to this hand. How does that look with the lighting on? Perfect. Anything I want to add to this? Perfect. Oh, we're making good pace. We've already got the... been streaming for about 2 hours. Got jab combo done, the moveset's done, and now the forward tilt's done. At this rate, I think we're going to get at least to the smash attacks today, which is good. Why did I have hers up tilt? Oh yeah, a wide overhead kick. Alright, moving on. Damn, I think that might be the end of the Sonic Mania soundtrack. Yep, it just went to something. It just went to completely separate Sonic Mania sound music. Great. I'll leave it for the time being, at least until I'm done with this pose, and now go find something else. I might want to rotate that a little bit forward. Getting there. I think I'll make the kick already concluded. Like it's done its full arc already. I do believe I use like the Soul Calibur 6 rendition of City Ruins, but if I were to remake it, I'd probably give her something else. Let's see if I can't play tricks with the camera a little bit. think that's about as good as I can potentially get this pose. Maybe I'll lower this arm. No, I think it looks better up like that. There you go, I think that looks a little better. Just want to get the head looking right. Slightly towards the camera. Absolutely not. Neo Metal Sonic is at most a color and not an alternate costume. Proportions of Metal Sonic and Neo Metal Sonic are not the same. Perfect. There we go. That's much better. That was probably the most complicated one of the day. I don't think the ones that come after this are going to be as difficult as this one was to line up properly. Lining that one up for Shadow was also pretty difficult because of just the length of the legs compared to how big his fucking head is. Let me see if I can find the one I did for Shadow, just to explain how complicated this pose is. Yeah, even with Shadow, it looks a little off because just how much bigger the leg has to be compared to the torso. I think this body language looks a little better than this one does. If I redid this pose, I'd probably have him have the leg further over like this. It just looks better overall. The attack trail will do most of the heavy lifting in this pose. Yeah, Metal Sonic's a character that definitely needs, like, an actual proper moveset that outlines his strengths to character without having to pull too much away from what, honestly, while interesting in concept, kind of led to problems with power scaling in the future. Like, Metal Sonic as a character right now is, like, kind of too powerful that they don't know how to, like, bring him into stories properly without, like, completely underutilizing him. Because of the way he copies data, there's no reason Metal Sonic should lose, like, 90% of the fights that he loses. But they need to explain it in some way, shape, or form, and that's why I hate the IDW comics. Because aside from the first, like, few issues, they completely fuck this character. Alright, next up will be the down tilt. We're gonna need to put him on his side. Give me a second, Anchor Arms. I need to get this basic pose correct. doesn't look like it's hooked into the ground. It pretty much is. Sort of similar, yes. Except it's designed to play into more of Metal Sonic's inorganic tendencies, and by that I mean everything except his arm that's holding on spins in place. Want the arm to essentially act like that of an anchor that holds him in place, while the rest of his body basically spins on the swivel of his hand. As you can see, you know, the ball joint. Alright, well, let's make the attacking leg big. Oh, that one calf, sure. Yeah, but that's looking good. Looking actually fucking near perfect, honestly. Also, to answer your question, Anchor Arms, that's a little bit vague, so I can't really give you an answer. We're gonna just tilt this. It looks like the foot is moving forward. Alright, perfect. Alright, that's all the basic grounded tilts done. Just need to do the dash attack now, and that's all the grounded attacks done. Nope, fuck, don't want to touch that. Yeah, I'm just gonna... No, I don't want to... Please. Shit's supposed to be locked in place. That stuff's not supposed to move. Thank you. I'm just gonna quickly BRB. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Get off the screen. I need to make a BRB screen. I really do. Okay. Next up is the dash attack. Which, if I recall correctly, is the Emerald Dive. Emerald voice crack. Emerald Dive. Right. Now this just has Metal Sonic with like one arm extended in front of him as he spins through the air. I might make it both arms just to make it look better. Too much bend in the fingers. It's not a complicated pose. Very similar to the forward tilt. What can I remember the Emerald Dive actually looking like in Sonic the Fighters? Smidge to the right. It's not... Yeah, it's about as much as I could probably do with that. These streams will keep going until Metal Sonic is done, and once Metal Sonic is done, we will choose a second character. That is the plan. Alright, take care, Pikmin. Also, I should mention before you go, I was actually going to mention this at the end of the stream, but I haven't been paying attention to the viewer count, so I don't know how many people are here, and YouTube does a really bad job of tracking that shit anyways. But, I think I'm going to do another stream of this tomorrow. I think we're going to do... This is going to be a special weekend where I do two work streams in 1 week. Considering we're now actually getting to designing the way the character is supposed to act and move, I think that this is the perfect time to actually have like a full weekend worth of designing attacks. If we're lucky, we could be done with Metal Sonic in, like, 2 weeks. Because once the attack animations are done, that's when we move on to the next character, because the extra animations and all that will be done on my own time. because I haven't really decided what the hell I want them to be yet. But yeah, depending on how well Metal Sonic comes out with his attacks and whatnot, I think there's a genuine chance we could be done with him a lot quicker than I thought we would be. Let me see if I can find what the Emerald Dive actually looks like. God, it's a shame that there's, like, no fucking equivalent. Or it feels like there's no equivalent for something like Dust Loop for Sonic the Fighters. Damn, that's a fucking shame. I guess I'm gonna have to just wing it. I see it for Sonic, but he pretty much does somewhat look like this. You just want it to have a little bit more personality to it. Yeah, I'd say that's about what I'm looking for. Okay. Rounded normals are done. Well, let me guess, YouTube. Are you still there? Do you want to continue playing? Fuck, God damn, I hate that so much. Ah, don't worry about it, Matt. It's not that important. Alright, perfect. Let's see how they came out. Yeah, I'd say that is about exactly what I'm looking for. But yeah, these are all rendered at 4K, which is why they look so good and why they're so fucking large. Probably gonna add a little bit of a red glow, at least on the dash attack. I don't think they all need it. The eyes look fine here. Maybe here, because it's a little dark because of the way the head's tilted down and the lighting is. This one might get it as well. Because, yeah, like, I add this in post. The eyes weren't glowing like that, and there's no way to make them glow like that with the model either, sadly. I do like that they're detailed enough that you can see the scan lines, but... yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's... he already has 17 poses. And I think this is the perfect time to stop for the day. I will see you all tomorrow. Probably a later start time. I'm thinking 3:30, maybe. But we're gonna do an extra stream where we're gonna start working on the smash attacks, hopefully finish those, and possibly get started on the aerials. But since Metal Sonic's moveset is done, all streams going forward are pretty much just going to be work streams in SFM. That's perfect. Keep him in the perfect position for when we get to work on him again tomorrow. Oh, I forgot to I actually forgot to list that because I did actually come up with it. I actually did write down the list. It's at the very bottom. I actually came up with the modification list, and thank you very much, Kitchen, for the €5. I'm glad to see that you are enjoying this, and I hope that the more we get into this series, the more outlandish newcomers I'm probably going to do movesets for. Metal Sonic is pretty much just... I'd say a warm-up, because Metal Sonic's not inherently super difficult to work with. I don't know if the next character will be Darkrai, but we'll I'll at least keep him in contention. They're pounds, not euros. Potato. I see the E, I say euro. Sorry, it's a habit. But thank you very much. But yes, the modification list is complete. Aerial modification characters are Kirby, Yoshi, Luigi, Jigglypuff, Peach, Daisy, Falco, Mad Knight, Pit, Dark Pit, and Shulk with jump active. Velocity modification is Fox, Pikachu, Captain Falcon, Pichu, Sonic, Ridley, Palutena, Greninja, Mii Brawler, Shulk with speed active, and Mithra. Defense Matrix physical modification is Bowser, King K. Rool, Donkey Kong, King Dedede, Charizard, Min, Shulk, Piranha Plant, and Bowser Jr. Defense Matrix projectile modifications are Link, Samus, Dark Samus, Young Link, Mewtwo, Rob, Toon Link, Snake, Lucas, Olimar, Mega Man, Rosalina and Luma, Pac-Man, Robin, Duck Hunt Duo, Villager, Simon, Richter, Isabelle, Banjo and Kazooie, Sephiroth, and Mii Gunner. Offense modification is Ness, Ice Climbers, Zelda, Dr. Mario, Gandorf, Roy, Chrom, Mr. Game & Watch, Wario, Ike, Ivysaur, Lucario, Wolf, Shulk with Buster and Smash active, Cloud, Corrin, and Cinnamoroar, Joker, Hero, Byleth, and Pyra, and Reflex modification is Mario, Sheik, Marth, Lucina, Zero Suit Samus, Squirtle, Diddy Kong, Wii Fit Trainer, Ryu, Ken, Bayonetta, Inkling, Terry, Steve, Kazuya, and Sora. So all the characters are listed. They all have their modifications. And they'll probably be listed alongside the definition of each modification once the moveset is actually put together video-wise. It'll probably be off to the side, like offense modification. Absorb data from these characters, and they'll be like all the icons of the characters that it associates with. But yeah, I'd say that's it's pretty good. Pretty good stream. Tomorrow we're going to start a little later than we did today. We're probably going to start around 3 o'clock, 3:30-ish, somewhere in there. We'll go for about a few hours like we did today, see how far we can get. My hopes are, now that we're more accustomed with now that I'm more accustomed with the model, that I'll be able to at least get through to the grab and throws. So get the smash attacks done and the aerials done in a single day. It's not impossible. But there's a lot to this model, a lot of moving parts. So, while not too difficult to make moves for, getting him in the right pose does take a little bit of time. But yeah, I think that'll do it. Thank you again for watching. I'll probably just put up, once the stream is done, I'll go and I'll make like another thing like, oh, we're gonna go live again tomorrow at blah 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 time. Yeah, I'll see you later, and thank you for tuning in. Hope you're excited to see where Metal Sonic's moveset will be in... I don't know. Again, I think at the rate that I'm going, I think I can get Metal Sonic done before the end of April, and once that happens, we can actually, leading into May, potentially start working on Challenger number 2. I am amazed at how productive these streams have been. I was expecting this to be a much slower paced thing. Metal Sonic kind of just came like blitzing out of the fucking gate. Designing the poses for the Final Smash is probably going to be the thing that takes the longest amount of time. Because yes, I do have a Metal Overlord model, but that's going to take a lot of time to get right because it's the model from Sonic X Shadow Generations, and it has a lot of moving parts. It's also really fucking big. I also haven't gone into super high detail about what I want, how I want the Final Smash to look, and like what does Metal Overlord actually do. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now we're focusing on Metal Sonic. Just Metal Sonic. We're bringing out his best side in the only way I know how, which is making attacks and poses that have the personality befitting a killer robot. I have a powerful rig. I can handle Metal Overlord. If I was doing this series on my old computer, each export would take like 15 fucking minutes. Now they're done in like a third of the time, if not less. So yeah, episode 3, tomorrow. like 3 o'clock-ish, 3:30. It's probably going to be 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And then from there, we'll do a few hours, get those smash attacks. I don't see the aerials taking super long. And after that, in the 2 weeks afterwards, we'll start working on the grabs and the throws. The specials could take a little bit of time, especially if I'm detailing, if there has to be poses detailing all of the modifications. But when it comes to designing movesets, the final smash is usually the thing, hilariously enough, considering how inconsequential it is to the rest of the moveset. The final smash is usually the thing that takes the most production value to get done properly. Like, for example, Shadow has like 149 poses in total throughout his video. At least 40 of them are dedicated purely to the final smash. So, depending on how extravagant I want to make the Metal Overlord final smash, it could be a multi-stream process. That's the only thing that I think would restrict Metal Sonic from not being done before May. I think that the goal with Metal Sonic as like a video project going forward, once like everything is done for him asset-wise, is I think the perfect time to release Metal Sonic's moveset is on the 35th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, which is like June 23rd. 23rd, 24th, 25th, somewhere in that general area. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. I think it's the 23rd. Now, why am I even hypothesizing what the date is? I'll look for it myself. My god, I just want to find the fucking date. Yeah, it's June 23rd, as I thought. So, June 23rd is what? It's a Tuesday. It's not bad. It's not a bad time to release a video. So, yeah, Metal Sonic, all his stuff will be done probably by the time May comes around, hopefully. Again, depends on Metal Overlord. But, and then his actual video gets done for the 23rd of June to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then we get to move on to a new character. I don't want this to devolve into third-party characters only. I'm probably going to make the next character a Nintendo character. But I've been rambling for a little bit too long, and I think I'm going to go now. So I'm going to see you all later. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. More Metal Sonic coming soon. Okay, bye.